morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Bob Gregerson, president here at Pitt-Greensburg. I want to thank you for coming out this morning for a time to remember our friend, peer, student, mentor, Jenna Maroadi. It's really important that we come together at times like these. I don't have the words to make this okay. Nobody does. And that's why we're here together, is to help support each other, to help us remember and understand the life of a young woman who was taken from us way, way too soon. My last conversation with Jenna happened down in front of the library. And she was training to be a peer mentor. And I asked her why she wanted to do that. And she talked about her life and the fact that she had had things that had been challenges for her, and she wanted to help others when they have challenges in their life, to help them overcome that, to use her experience. And we talked more, and we talked about other things, but it really hit me that here's someone who cared about serving and being helpful to others. That's my last memory of Jenna, and it's something I'll always keep with me. And it's really important, I think, for us, again, at times like this, to share our stories, to support each other, to be there for each other, and just to take stock of what someone meant to us. And Jenna Maroadi meant a lot to everyone here. Whatever your relationship was, I think it was important to you. So thank you for being here. And now I think the chorale is going to perform. Thank you very much. No, not the crowd. Okay, sorry.
I'm a little shorter than Dr. Gregerson. Good morning. My name is Lee Hoffman. I'm the Assistant Dean of Student Services and the Director of Orientation here at Pitt-Greensburg. And I want to thank you for joining us today as we remember Jenna and we celebrate her life. I first met Jenna when she applied to be a peer leader in the spring of 2019. Her enthusiasm and energy were apparent right from the start. In her application, she wrote, "I love helping others in various ways, shapes, and forms. So this will just fulfill what I love to do!" Exclamation point. "I am very caring and I'm always looking to help anyone with anything." Jenna was passionate about helping others, which is why she was such a wonderful peer leader. This year, a great commuter mentor. Her contagious smile could put anyone at ease, and she would just light up the room when she walked in. I loved getting to know her and listening to her stories about her dog, her work, her classes, her family. She spoke so fondly about her parents and how supportive they were. And of course about the love of her life, her daughter. And Jenna loved being a student here at Pitt-Greensburg. She would say it all the time. Even as a non-traditional student, she found her niche here, a second family here. She would always say to me how amazed she was that she was accepted and was able to get involved here as a non-traditional student. In addition to being a peer leader and commuter mentor, she was a teaching assistant, vice president of Psi Chi, a member of chorale, an actor, an emerging leader, part of Spanish Club, and I'm sure numerous others that I can't even remember or that maybe I don't even know about. In all these roles, she affected people so positively. When you met her, she made you feel like you were her new best friend. That's the type of person that Jenna was. Jenna's zest for life and kindness to others made a significant impact on our campus that will not soon be forgotten. And that is a great life lesson for all of us. We should always leave a place better than we found it. Now I would like to ask some of Jenna's friends and classmates to say a few words. Kylie?
So when I was asked to speak today, my first thoughts were, was I the right person to do this? Jenna was loved and cared for by so many people here, and she touched so many lives. I didn't know what I would be able to say that could really encompass all of that. So I kind of just want to speak from the heart and speak about her honestly, which is what she would have wanted. I met Jenna my freshman year here through a mutual friend. It was just a normal day meeting another classmate. But what I didn't know that day was that she would become one of my best friends here and one of the greatest people that I've ever met. We got reacquainted during SOAR. We were peer leaders together, and we were actually paired in the same room for one night. And that one night was all it took for me to love her, because to know Jenna was to love her. Sorry. I don't know how many of you out there knew Jenna in the way that I did, but anybody who knows anything about her or about her past and what she's been through, she didn't have it easy, and anyone who knows her knows that. But one of the greatest things about her is that you would never know that, the way that she carried herself and presented herself to other people. She was so kind and genuine, and she had one of the purest hearts of anyone that I have ever met, which is rare as it is, but to have that after going through what she did is just, it was crazy to me. Her compassion and willingness to give the shirt off of her own back to a complete stranger was probably one of her most defining features. And it's no secret that Jenna was visibly stunning, but her beauty was no match for the personality that lied underneath. It absolutely sparkled. And anybody here who didn't know her that well might just think these are all the kinds of things you're supposed to say when somebody's passed away. But anybody who did know her knows that it's absolutely the truth. She was one in a million. You couldn't be around her and be unhappy, because she cared for others so deeply, and she had unmatched empathy. She wanted everyone to feel welcome, and she was very, very good at that. Jenna was a woman of God and a friend and a daughter, and most importantly to her, a mother. And she was the greatest type of friend that anybody could hope to have. And she was an inspiration to anybody that got to know her. Her ambition and her drive and her passion to do better for not just herself but for her family, it'll definitely be remembered. Her soul is going to be missed by so many people, and the world is going to be an infinitely worse place for having lost her. It's rare to be able to touch so many people in just 34 years of living, but Jenna was able to do that. And if being friends with her taught me anything, it was that it's important to stay true to yourself, and that no matter what your ambition is, it's never too late in life to start doing that. If we can all leave here today and emulate Jenna's attitude of acceptance and love, if even for 24 hours, I think the world would be a better place, and we'd all be infinitely happier for it. Thank you.
Maddie?
Morning, everyone. My name's Maddie Jackson, and I worked with Jenna in the Pitt-Greensburg Chorale, Spanish Club, and Saikai, and I speak both on their behalf and on mine as well, as I consider Jenna a friend. All of us knew Jenna as an incredibly kind person. Jenna was always the first to help anyone she saw struggling. She made everyone, not even just those she was friends with, feel like they were loved and that they belonged. Personally, one day that stands out to me is a day when I was upset last year in the chapel. I didn't know she was there, but she approached me to ask what was wrong and then stayed with me for almost an hour and a half until I'd calmed down. That day was an especially hard day for me, but just her caring nature and willingness to listen got me through that day. She did this sort of thing for countless amounts of people. Just last week, when Corral discussed her life, many told stories of the kindness she displayed towards them. Jenna really would have done a lot for the people she cared about. Secondly, all of us knew Jenna as a really hardworking person. She dedicated a lot of her time and energy to a club she was in and to her schoolwork, all while working and being a great mom to Cassidy. And she excelled at all of those things. Every time I worked with her, she really brought everything and everyone together. She always had ideas and put in the effort required to execute them. We also all knew how dedicated she was to her daughter, Cassidy. She was extremely proud of Cassidy, and I always loved to listen to her talk about Cassidy's achievements, whether it was about cheer, softball, or performance in school. Cassidy was truly her #1 priority. For me, Jenna was the kind of friend I appreciated the most. We may not have formally hung out a ton, but when I saw her, she was always down to go get food or have a long conversation. The memories of Jenna that I cherish the most are the ones of our spontaneous hangouts and conversations. No matter what she was doing, she was always alright with me joining her, and if I asked her to go to an event with me, she was almost always willing to go. Jenna was always there for me, whether it was for giving advice on an outfit or an assignment, or if it was checking in on me and standing by me during a hard time. She did this for so many people, not just myself, and I take solace in knowing what an impact she made during her time with us. I will always appreciate the memories and the inspiration she gave me. Thank you.
Mary? Mary here?
Hello everyone. I would just like to say that it is a huge honor for me to speak on behalf of all of us as students, and also personally for myself. A quote that I want to begin with is one I think that speaks volumes, not in this situation, but as somebody myself who has also experienced a lot of loss within their personal life. Those we love never truly leave us. There are things that death cannot touch. When I first came to campus, Jenna's face was one of the first ones that I saw. I was moving into College Hall, trying to push my little yellow buggy, which obviously wasn't going very well. And it meant the world just to see one smiling face come up, automatically introduce themselves, and just from that moment, they were so special. What began as exchanging pleasantries turned into one of the most beautiful and life-changing friendships that I've ever had. Last year, I was facing many challenges. Jenna was the peer leader for my psychology class. The instructor was Miss Jessica Barge. As a psychology major myself, it was really reassuring to sit among other students and to be able to have mentors and peer leaders that either had the same major or that had the same dreams and aspirations as I did. There was something about Jenna that had always brought a smile to my face. Jenna was the person that everybody could confide in. Jenna brought light and love into every room, every single room that she had entered. She was so involved, and she was incredibly passionate about her advocacy for mental health, recovery, and any sort of rehab or rehabilitation that she was interested in or that she knew that we could benefit from. Jenna was somebody who actively tried to flip any negative situation into a positive blessing, and I can very much count for that. There were some family issues that I had that were going on, just some personal issues, and I remember we sat outside of Milstein Library for, I would say, maybe an hour and a half, and even if not, there were so many unspoken messages and just so many comforting moments where nothing needs to be said all the time. Just having somebody sit there and listen to you is sometimes some of the most beautiful and reassuring moments. And that is exactly what Jenna, who she was to me. For her students, Jenna made herself available at all times. Through discussing her own personal experiences and troubles, she was able to have this sort of call to arms personality. There was absolutely nothing that anybody could say that could ever stump her. Jenna always knew what to say, when to say it. Some of the advice that I had received from Jenna is some of the most life-changing advice that I honestly think that I will ever receive. Jenna was a mentor to so many on campus, and her students loved and adored her, as did everybody else who was involved on campus. Her presence will be greatly missed. Personally, Jenna was one of my closest friends and mentors. I am beyond fortunate to have had the pleasure of growing close to Jenna and forming an unbreakable bond and connection. Jenna helped me through some of my darkest moments last year, whether that was my homesickness away from my mom, because I'm very close with my mom. And another thing that really connected me with Jenna was not only was she close to her own family like I am, but the love and just the absolute adoration that she had for her daughter Cassie is one that I hope that I get to experience. Jenna was always my shoulder to cry on, because as somebody who deals with, mental health issues and somebody who's an advocate for mental health issues, Jenna was the ideal person. If there is anybody who comes to mind that you could think of who do I know that I can go and talk to, who do I know that is going to be there and is going to listen and is going to actually provide me with some of the best advice ever, it was Jenna. The hour-long discussions, the bear hugs, the constant reminders sent to one another that we would be able to hold each other for forever and we would be able to love one another as some of the closest friends, those are some of the best memories that I will take with me. I will love her forever. Jenna, I will never forget the imprint that you had left on me in my life, as well as the lives of others. I will never forget your voice telling me that I am stronger than I believe. I will never forget you or the radiance of love and light that enveloped you. Thank you for being one of my biggest inspirations. Thank you for being my home and family, away from the family I left in West Mifflin. I will love and I miss you forever, you gorgeous girl. I thank my lucky stars for blessing me with your presence in my life. Forever, I love you. And if there is one thing that I could leave with you guys today, cherish the ones that you love. Always say hello, even if you don't know the person. Smiles can bring so much joy and so much comfort to people. And while Jenna was the absolute embodiment of that, I think we can all take a piece of Jenna with us, regardless of if you really knew her, if you were as fortunate as I was, and the many others who were actually close and got to experience the beautiful person that she was. Tell your loved ones that you love them and appreciate them. And I think there's nothing more important that we could be doing now as a community. Support yourself in love and support yourself with some of the closest friends that you could ever have. Because right now it is the most important thing. Thank you guys very much.
Chris?
I'm Chris Bartley. I am the music director here at Pitt-Greensburg, and it has been my incredible pleasure in the last couple of years to be able to witness Jenna's music making, to be part of her music making, as she has been a proud member of the Pitt-Greensburg Chorale of chamber singers, studying individually voice and piano, and even showing us how well she can dance in our musical of a year and a half ago. She was delighted every day to be able to come in and make music with the students of Pitt-Greensburg, with all those who are in her studios together and in chorale together. And in these last couple of years, chorale has been in many ways the best version of itself, not only because it has been an extraordinary group of music makers, but it has been a wonderful community. It has been a wonderful community because Jenna helped to make it so. From the way that she would reach out to those that she saw in need. I witnessed in this very space where we often made music together, in her leadership and in her kindness, and most especially, Jenna made it incredibly easy to see the humanity of everyone, because that's exactly what she did always. No matter where you were in life, who you were, she was able to see the person that you are, and it's something that was extraordinary about her, and something that I will hold on to, I know, for my life, and how much we need to be able to always be able to see the humanity in each other. Matt and I would like to offer one piece of music in her memory. This is an arrangement of the spiritual called Jacob's Ladder.
Sam? No? Okay. Bobby?
Hello everyone. I wanted to start off by offering my deepest sympathies to Jenna's family, especially to her daughter Cassie. Jenna always talked about how much she loved all of you, to every single one of us, especially Cassie. Like everyone said, There was not a day that Jenna didn't go by without telling us about her accomplishments and how much she adored her in every single day. Jenna was an amazingly beautiful person who loved and cared for every single person that she met. I had the privilege of getting to know Jenna last year when we served as peer leaders together. I have many memories from my time with her, many of which come from our SOARs. My favorite was when she helped me cope the loss of my siblings. Over the past 3 years, I've lost a sister and a brother to opiate abuse. Jenna was one of the only people I truly felt comfortable talking about the situations with. I never felt judged, and I have always felt compassion. She always made it a point to all the peer leaders to make sure that we knew that no matter the situation or no matter the time, she would always be there for us. My second favorite memory of her was during SOAR when we would go in breakout sessions, and it would be just us two, a lot of the freshmen, and we would just have a blast. Me and Jenna would bounce off of one another in a conversation, and we would just enjoy the freshmen with one another. We'd have so many conversations, and we just loved it. She would always focus on the positive aspects for everyone she met, and I greatly admired that of her. Jenna exemplified all that it meant to be a leader on our campus, and she was the perfect example of a great friend. I have truly been blessed to be able to call her my friend for the past year, and I will always remember Jenna for her passion and love for those around her. And both the campus community and myself will forever remember the legacy she has left. So rest easy, my friend, and I will see you again.
Melissa?
Firstly, I am deeply saddened that I stand here with you today to speak upon Jenna's life. The first thing that I learned about Jenna when we met last summer was her dedication to her academics, the campus community, and her daughter, Cassidy, who was her true love in this world. Despite working and raising a daughter on her own, Jenna excelled here at Pitt-Greensburg and even found the time to help others. She was an astounding peer leader who used her past experiences to educate her students and push them onto the right path. I'm sure she worked just as hard for her commuter mentor students this year as well. Jenna loved this community and was so grateful to everyone she had known here. She touched so many of our lives and will be greatly missed, including my own, as I worked with her as a peer leader last year. I will forever cherish the moments I had from working with her, and I am deeply saddened that I just saw her a few weeks prior to passing, and I wish I would have known and could have said something to her. But that is why it is my honor to announce that the Student Government Association Non-Traditional Student Scholarship will be renamed in her honor. Her traditional charity fundraiser will also be going towards Cassidy's college fund so that she may make a positive influence just like her mother did. Thank you, Jenna, for being a beacon of hope and positivity on this campus, and thank you for Corral for holding this, especially Chris Bartley, as well as all of you for being here today.
We would now like to open the floor for anyone else who would like to come up and say any words about Jenna.
My name is Haley Hayden, and I am the assistant director here at Pitt-Greensburg. There's not much I can say about Jenna that you all don't already know. She was a force to be reckoned with. Her presence filled the entire room. I was her instructor for emerging leaders class, and she was overqualified for that. But she was determined to gain new knowledge any way that she could. I still have her final paper that I have not been able to bring myself to reread. But I know that she would probably tell me how great of a job I was, what a great instructor I was, and how good of a person, because that's who Jenna was. She was always giving compliments. Jenna taught me, in the end though, while she was overqualified for my class, I learned something from her. Jenna taught me humility. She acknowledged her faults and didn't desire praise for her perseverance. She taught me honesty. Jenna was honest to a fault. She once came to my class 5 minutes late, and then at the end of class she said, "Haley, I'm so sorry, but I had to stop and tell this student on campus how good looking he was." I simply looked at her and said, "Are you serious?" And she goes, "Yeah, but I really wanted to tell you. I just wanted to be honest." Well, thank you, Jenna. And finally, Jenna taught me acceptance and friendship. She accepted everyone, no matter what their flaws were, and she wanted to be there for you no matter what. Knowing that we will not see her smiling face or her infectious laughter or voice on campus makes it a little less bright. But I know that though Jenna's song is over, her melody continues to play on. And Jenna, I hope that wherever you are, it's beautiful. Thank you.
Anyone else like to say any words?
My name's Beth Uranic. I'm a math teacher here. I met Jenna when she was a freshman, rather petrified to take math because it was not her favorite. And as my custom, the first day of class, I asked everyone what is their major and what do they want to do. She told me she wanted to be an addiction therapist. And I said, oh, there's a story behind that. After class, she came up to me with that infectious smile and said, how did you know that? I said, well, you either are in recovery or you love somebody in recovery if you want to be an addiction therapist. And then we got to talking, and I have a daughter who's 35. I have a granddaughter. Very parallel lives. My daughter looks like Jenna. They talk the same. Both smart, both lively and fun. Jenna was doing all the right things. When she hit her 18 months, she gave me her coin. How much work she had to go through to get that coin. And she gave it to me to give to my daughter, Rachel. And gave me, you know, I always had Jenna's number, everybody did. But so my daughter could call her if she ever needed anything. I'm crushed. And I know everybody is just crushed. You guys did a good job. Yeah, and you've been through a lot. But anyway, that's all I just wanted to share. Everybody knows, anybody who knew Jenna knew how great she was and how much we're going to miss her. So, but I am better for having known her. And I would like to point out that she reincarnated into a cat. Or did I just see that? Okay? The cat came and went straight to mom and dad. And where is it? That is freaky. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else would like to say a few words?
Hello. I consider Jenna one of my closest friends, and I always consider her one of my closest friends. She inspired me in so many ways. Her positivity and outlook on life is something that will always stay with me. I will strive to be more like her in everything I do. My most fondest memories of her are in the Voice and Piano studio. I got to know her, and she really got to know me. We both really loved animal print. Always remember her for her wonderful style. Every time I wear animal print, I'm always going to think of her. Sorry. As I said, I learned a lot about Jenna, and she learned a lot about me. And she would know, standing here today, talking in front of everybody, is not something I would really want to do right now. But I think it's so important to share this with you all. I want everyone to know how much she meant to me and how much I miss her. I just wanted to end talking to you guys today with a quote I recently heard that made me think of her. Remember me with smiles and laughter, for that's how I'll remember you all. If you can remember me in tears, don't remember me at all. Thank you for letting me share this with you today.
Anyone else to say any words?
My name is Mayor Paljug, and I met Jenna her freshman year, and it was my sophomore year. And I met her in math class with Beth, and she was one of my first friends on campus, and she quickly became one of my best friends. I remember her in math class, and I sat next to her, and I struggled with anxiety, and I was so nervous and so scared. But she turned around and she complimented my shoes and swiftly introduced herself afterwards. And I was so grateful that someone ended up talking to me. And that's how we became friends. And ever since then, we've had classes every semester, and she's taught me a lot. She was always so open with her past struggles, and she was so hardworking and caring. And because of that, she taught me how to be hardworking and also caring, and to be more open with people. And she was just a great person, beautiful inside and out, and I'm gonna miss her deeply.
I don't have anything prepared, but I just wanted to tell the family my deepest condolences. I do find comfort in knowing that she's up in heaven with God, and I knew she was a real believer, true believer. I met her in a politics class, which y'all can believe would be fun with Jenna. She's fearless, and in my opinion, the epitome of beauty and brains, the full package. Again, my deepest condolences to the family. Anyone else?
Hello. I'm not very prepared because I just didn't think I could do it, but I met Jenna through cheerleading, and I never really did anything like that before when I first came into it, and immediately she was very supportive of me, and that I'll never forget that. And I remember during one of the orientations, she was like one of the first people I've ever cried to, like openly in public, and she just helped me through so much personal things I've been through and helped me become a better person. And I know she helped so many other people here do that as well. And I remember we were talking about possibly like going into like a private practice kind of situation after we both graduated. And I know that's not something we can do now, but I hope I can still continue that plan. And I'm sorry. I hope that through everything that everyone has ever known of her, that she'll always be remembered as a positive inspiration to everyone. I don't have too much else to say that everyone else hasn't already touched upon, but I'm so sorry for our loss. I'm so grateful to have known her. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hi, my name's Gia. I didn't personally know Jenna, but the first time I met her was last year when I was a freshman at my first SOAR date. I came to this campus not knowing anybody, and when it was time to mingle with the rest of the freshmen, I'm not very much of a talker, at least I didn't used to be, and I kind of stood alone. And Jenna was the very first person to walk up to me and make me feel very comfortable here. And one of the very first things we talked about, she said to me, was our necklaces, because we both have the Italian horn. And then we both learned that we're both psychology majors, and we were both singers. And I immediately felt connected, and that's how I knew that I was supposed to be here. She made me feel less alone, and I feel that she's one of the very many reasons that I'm still here on campus today. Like I said, though I didn't have many conversations with her afterwards, she always made a point to say hello to me. She remembered my name, and that was something that I will remember forever. She was such a bright light, and I know she'll be very missed, but her memory will live on forever.
Anyone else?
My name is John Kerlicker. I'm the Student Government Association president here at Pitt-Greensburg. Unlike a lot of people here who have already spoken, Jenna and I didn't really run in the same circles. But despite that, she and I kind of had this interesting connection, I think, whenever it came to leadership on campus, because we both had a great respect for each other. Whenever I last year spoke at freshman convocation, immediately after, the first person who talked to me after convocation was over was Jenna, and she told me what a good job I had done. I had never talked to her before, and from then on, we basically always talked to each other, always checked in on each other, and although we weren't very close, I think we both kind of had this understanding that what we were doing in the campus community for our respective circles was really important. And aside from that story, over the summer, once everyone was sent home, SGA every year reviews scholarships for students. Of course, Jenna applied for the non-traditional student scholarship, and I was very excited to email her and tell her congratulations. And I think in a very much so Jenna way, her response was thank you, and then she thanked me. And I don't think that there's really anything else I can say that anyone else hasn't said, other than that her priority, even whenever something was extraordinarily great for her, was always looking toward others. And in the same way that I know Jenna would look out for the people in my circles, I think that if there's one thing that she would want me to say to all of you, and that she would say to all of you, is how proud of you she is for what you're doing, and I'm also proud of you for today. I know it's really hard. Thank you.
Anyone else? So to end our ceremony today, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Gregerson to make some closing comments, and then the chorale will have final tribute to Jenna.
I want to thank everyone who shared their thoughts about Jenna. On the one hand, this is really hard to do. On the other hand, it's really easy to do. Because to speak from the heart is something that comes naturally to us. Even if you're reluctant to speak, those feelings that we all heard came out so well. Regardless of what your relationship with Jenna was, whether you remember the family, fellow student, fellow chorale member, faculty, staff, friend, we all knew a woman with an enormous heart and a massive soul. And she touched so many people. She left this earth far too soon. But listen to the legacy she's left behind. It's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.